Fujifilm firmware updates. The X-Summit, it will be in October 14, and I want to touch a little on this X-Summit, the firmware updates, and Fujifilm next camera. So let's talk about this. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. Fujifilm just announced the new X-Summit, and it's very interesting for me, very interesting, that Fujifilm is addressing just in a way the firmware updates. Did you observe that Fujifilm said that they will make a new firmware update just for Fujifilm X-H2 and Fujifilm X-H2S, not for X-T5, and just for video. So they will improve the AF just for video on X-H2 and X-H2S. So this means that Fujifilm doesn't acknowledge that there are still problems with IAF also on X-H2, X-H2S, X-T5. X-T5 still doesn't have custom zones. Also X-H2 and X-H2S for photography with IAF. That in my research and in my test on X-T50, it is working much better. So what is happening? They will bring an X-T6 and leave behind X-T5. It is possible, anything it is possible. But before that, I also want to address the Fujifilm full frame camera. I've said that Fujifilm probably, and I hope they will launch a full frame camera. And I always get the argument that Fujifilm can't compete with Sony and with Canon in the full frame market. This is wrong from my point of view, because why they can't compete? They don't have the lenses, okay. They don't also have the lenses on GFX and also on APS-C. They are lacking lots of lenses on all the systems. But still, they are a very beloved company because of the ergonomics, because of the aesthetics of the cameras, and also because of the colors. So these are the strong points of a Fujifilm camera. Being a small sensor Fujifilm camera, being a APS-C sensor, or being a GFX sensor. So personally, if Fujifilm will launch a full frame camera with a tilt screen and with Fujifilm colors, I really don't care that Fujifilm AF is not on par with Sony AF or with Canon AF. For me, a Fujifilm full frame camera, it will be a dream come true. And why I'm saying this? Because Fujifilm, it's Fujifilm, and full frame, it's full frame, and I do love full frame. For me, full frame, it is the magic sweet spot for nice looking images. Look at the Leica images. Look at Bresson images. They are done on a full frame. Yes, film full frame, but it's full frame. There is something about the full frame format. So the full frame is very important, and Fujifilm is sticking with a crop from a full frame sensor, and I think they are doing it wrong here, because if you love photography, for sure you must love full frame. And it's not just about image quality, it's how the things are staying in the frame, it's how the things are rendered in the frame. It's about the compression of a full frame sensor and of a full frame lens. It's also about the depth of field. It's also about the sharpness, but good sharpness, because also I heard the argument that photography is not about clinical sharpness. Yes, but full frame is not about clinical sharpness. We have vintage lenses, Minolta, that we can use on a full frame sensor. We have Voigtlander lenses, Leica lenses, and they aren't clinical sharp. They have good sharpness. And Fujifilm is missing all these goodies. Fujifilm is missing all these lenses that you could adapt on a Fujifilm full frame sensor. Yes, I know you can adapt them on GFX, but GFX it's too big, too expensive, too clunky to work with. For a hobbyist, I really don't see why I would do this. Yes, probably in the future I'm looking at GFX 50R, the rangefinder medium format camera from Fujifilm, to adapt and to play, but for AF lenses that are big and expensive, I really can't justify the investment. I really don't need it. But full frame lenses with AF on a Fujifilm full frame camera, I really want. So yes, a Fujifilm full frame camera with L mount, that would be a great thing, because we already have the lenses, Sigma lenses. So yes, Fujifilm full frame, I really don't think it's a mistake if Fujifilm will do it. I think the mistake is that Fujifilm didn't do it. I think the mistake is that they've gone to the GFX. GFX will be at the level of a Sony full-frame camera probably in 20 years, how things are going regarding development and AF speed regarding what Fujifilm is doing. So why not go to full-frame? I think, again, that it was the biggest mistake that Fujifilm didn't go to full-frame. It's not about competing. The right decision for Fujifilm, it should have been full-frame. And why is that? Because nothing beats the Fujifilm colors and the Fujifilm film simulations. I am betting that lots of photographers would have invested in a full frame camera even if the AF is not on par with Sony and Canon. Just for the JPEGs, just for the simulations, just for the looks. They didn't go to the GFX because it's a studio camera, it's expensive, and it doesn't have sense for the majority of professional photographers to go to GFX. This is why they go to Sony full frame, Canon full frame, Nikon full frame, and so on. And some of them are going to Fujifilm X-T5, X-H2, X-H2S. Of course, in any system, there are exceptions. We have great wedding photographers like Kevin Mully. Congratulations to him. But he's unique. The majority of wedding photographers are wanting a full-frame camera, capable camera with nice colors. And there is no competition here if Fujifilm would have made such a camera. Fujifilm would have destroyed Sony, Canon, and why not Nikon because of the colors. It's a great competitive advantage that Fujifilm has. Colors and simulations. Lots of people are having problem in editing and in getting the colors that they want. Lots of people and wedding photographers have problems in keeping the accuracy and in getting that color working. Fujifilm has this, and they don't take profit of this because they didn't make a full frame camera. Now, what are my expectations regarding Fujifilm X Summit? Well, I really don't think what camera they will launch. It is possible to launch X Pro 4. It is possible to launch a full-frame fixed lens camera or an interchangeable full-frame camera, who knows? And why I'm saying this? Fuji Rumors stated that they will launch a new camera with a new sensor that will have a new size, never used before by Fujifilm. And it could be a small size, like micro four thirds or 1 inch. I don't know if they didn't use a 1-inch camera, or then what we are left with. A very big sensor, how I've said, a phase 1 sensor, and it doesn't have sense because they already have GFX, and next it's full frame. So I really do hope that Fujifilm finally will make this step. If they will not make it, this is it. I can't blame it, but I'm sorry, just for the love of photography and for the love of colors and for the love of aesthetics and ergonomics that Fujifilm is putting in these cameras. It is so sad not to have a full frame camera that looks like this and operates like this, and I really don't care about IAF. I would have really wanted a full frame Fujifilm camera. That camera, it will be a true camera from my point of view. The only manufacturer that it's developing full-frame cameras with AF and with nice ergonomics, it's Leica Q3 and Leica Q343, but fixed lenses. But they have all what you could want: lift shutter, colors, sensor, and so on. But they have a price tag to it, and also they don't support interchangeable lenses, and also they don't have the Fujifilm colors. I've looked at Leica chrome simulation and I was shocked about the skin tones and about those reds and about that color. Terrible. So Fujifilm has this. Fujifilm has no competition in color. So again and again, I'm saying Fujifilm would have destroyed any competition just because of their ergonomics, color, and aesthetics. AF is not a problem in the end. Lots of photographers that are wanting good pictures and a camera that it's fun to operate, I am betting that they would have made the compromise to go with a Fujifilm camera even if the AF is not so great. They've already did this with Nikon. Some of them switched from Sony to Nikon just for Nikon colors, even if Nikon doesn't have the AF of a Sony camera. Lots of them opted for Nikon Z6 II, and that Z6 II, it's under Sony A7 III regarding AF. So they've already did this for colors. So this is why I'm saying Fujifilm can destroy the competition if they decide to make a full frame camera. And now let me address another question. Will it make problems to the APS-C cameras or to the GFX cameras? I really don't think so, because on APS-C you have some advantages there. Smaller lenses, smaller cameras, smaller zooms. And on GFX, you have a very, very big system, clunky, expensive. So full frame stays in the middle. I really don't heard of anybody that is passionate about photography or it has a photography business that he will not shoot a GFX camera because he has a full frame camera or because he has a micro four thirds camera. No. Who is shooting and who is doing photography, it will use the right format for the job. Of course, a full frame camera in time can make a big APS-C camera to not have sense, but again it depends on the lenses and how the system will work out. But yes, one of the greatest ideas that I was able to see online is that it will be nice that Fujifilm join the L-mount alliance, and if they will do this, they will have the lenses for a Fujifilm full frame camera, and this would be a great thing. So anyway, let's wait for the X Summit and let's see what Fujifilm will bring, but I really do hope that Fujifilm will also address the AF in photography and the IAF problems that are reported on X-H2, X-H2S and also X-T5. Why Fujifilm do you forget about the AF in photography? Now, please subscribe to my channel. If you aren't subscribed, give it a like, check my affiliate links if you want to buy something from Amazon, and subscribe to my newsletter for more photography tips and tricks, and also please check my next videos. Thank you and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.